You smile when you want to cry. You nod when you want to scream. You say I'm fine, and no one asks twice. Somewhere along the way, you learned that truth can cost you peace. So you built a version of yourself that feels easier for the world to hold. Carl Jung called this version the persona. The mask we wear to survive the gaze of others. It isn't false at first. It's the polite voice you use at work. The strength you show when you're trembling inside. The calm tone that keeps the peace. But the longer you wear it, the more you forget what your real face looks like. You weren't born pretending. You arrived raw, loud, unfiltered. Every emotion danced freely across your face. Joy was loud. Crying was allowed. Anger was honest. Until the world began to edit you. Don't cry. Be nice. Smile for the camera. Each correction stitched a thread into the mask you now wear. By the time you were old enough to notice, you had already learned that life sometimes requires performance. The persona keeps you safe. Jung wrote, "The persona is a necessary device, a mask that makes a definite impression upon others, but conceals the real nature of the individual. It protects you from being too much, too soft, too strange, too real. It tells you which parts of you are acceptable and which must hide in the shadows. But what begins as protection, slowly becomes a prison. You smile, but it's practiced. You laugh, but it feels rehearsed. You speak, but the words come from obligation, not from the heart. And deep inside, a quieter self watches. The one who remembers. The one who knows this isn't the full truth. That inner witness whispers at night, when the world grows silent and the mask rests heavy on the pillow beside you. Who am I when no one is watching? That question is the beginning of awakening. Most people never dare to ask it. Because to look beneath the mask means risking everything that felt safe. What if they don't like the real me? What if the truth scares them away? What if I don't even like what I find? So we tighten the mask instead. We polish it. We convince ourselves it's our skin. Until one day, the cracks begin to show. You feel it as exhaustion. As quiet disconnection. As the sudden urge to disappear even from the people you love. You feel fake, not because you are, but because you've become split. One self the world sees, and another that aches to be seen. Jung said, "The individual who identifies with his persona is in danger of losing his soul." Maybe that's what depression really is, the soul's protest against a life that looks right, but feels wrong. The mask is heavy, isn't it? You carry it into every room. You keep it steady through every heartbreak. You smile so no one worries. You achieve so no one questions. You give so no one leaves. Yet each time you hide your sadness behind strength, you drift a little further from yourself. Sometimes the mask isn't calm, it's angry, defensive, loud. It says, "I don't need anyone." It says, "I'm fine on my own." It says, "I don't care." But that's just another disguise, a mask built from hurt. Behind it lives a child who once felt unseen and decided it was safer to disappear behind control. The personas we wear carry the pain we never processed. The caretaker hides fear of abandonment. The achiever hides fear of worthlessness. The joker hides grief. The healer hides her own wounds. We don't fake our identity out of vanity. We fake it out of longing. We want to be loved, even if the love goes to the wrong version of us. But the soul cannot be fooled forever. It keeps trying to reach you through small rebellions, a sudden sadness you can't explain, a burnout that forces you to stop, a relationship that collapses because you can no longer pretend. That is not failure. That is the mask beginning to crack. And yet, you fight it. You patch the cracks with new affirmations, new habits, new distractions. You keep the facade running, terrified that if it falls, everything will. But here's the truth Jung saw: what collapses is only the illusion. The self that falls apart was never your foundation. Under the mask, the soul waits, patient, gentle, unchanging. It doesn't punish you for hiding. It only whispers, "I'm still here." When you hear that voice, don't run. It means you're ready. Ready to remember who you were before you became who you needed to be. You may notice flashes of authenticity, the laugh that surprises even you, the tear you don't hide, the silence that feels peaceful, not awkward. That's the real you resurfacing. It feels raw at first, like sunlight on skin kept too long in the dark. But that tenderness is freedom. You are not here to perform. You are here to be. And being real will cost you false comfort, false approval, false peace, but what it gives in return is wholeness. Jung called this the journey of individuation, the process of becoming one's true self. He said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And it begins the moment you dare to take off the mask, even if only in private." If you're new here, welcome. Stay with me for a moment. This reflection isn't about blaming the mask, it's about remembering that beneath every disguise lives someone worthy of being seen. If these words find you tonight, maybe it's because your soul is ready to breathe again. One day, something inside you shifts. The smile doesn't rise as easily. The small talk feels heavy. The noise of pretending starts to echo like emptiness. You stop in the middle of a sentence, and for the first time, you hear the silence beneath your words. This is not weakness. This is truth returning. The mask begins to crack, not to punish you, but to release the person who's been waiting beneath it. At first, you try to fix it. You glue the pieces back together. You rehearse your composure. You remind yourself, "I'm fine." But the soul is patient. It keeps tapping softly from inside, asking to be heard. The cracks widen. Light seeps through. The performance falters. And something ancient within you exhales. You feel strange. Exposed. Naked in your own life. The mask has been your armor, now, without it, the air feels cold. Every emotion rushes back like a forgotten language. Sadness speaks first. Then tenderness. Then anger, the honest kind you swallowed for years. And behind them all, a small voice whispers, "This is me." You will be tempted to hide again. To patch yourself up before anyone sees the cracks. But healing isn't tidy. It's raw. It's human. It's the sound of truth breaking through habit. Jung said, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." And yet that pain is the door to peace. You might lose things here. People who loved your mask but never met your soul. Roles that no longer fit. Dreams you outgrew while pretending they were yours. Let them go. They belong to who you were, not to who you are becoming. In this in-between space you'll feel disoriented. You'll question everything, your path, your purpose, your worth. This is the sacred confusion that always comes before rebirth. The psyche reorganizing itself. The ego loosening its grip. The self, Jung's true center, beginning to rise. You'll start noticing signs, moments of stillness that feel like home. Tears that fall without shame. Laughter that surprises you with its honesty. A sudden peace in saying no. These are not small things. They're proof that you're coming back to yourself. At first, the world won't understand. People might say, "You've changed." And they'll be right. Because you no longer need to perform what they expect. You no longer translate yourself to be palatable. You start to speak in your own tone, slow, truthful, grounded. Some will drift away. Some will stay and see you clearer. Let both happen. The ones meant for your next chapter will recognize your real face. You'll begin to notice beauty in ordinary things again. The way sunlight lands on the table. The rhythm of your own breathing. The quiet of not needing to explain. This is life without the mask, simple, sacred, unfiltered. It's not that the mask disappears forever. We still need parts of it to navigate the outer world. But now you wear it consciously, a tool, not a cage. You can take it off whenever your soul needs air. You start meeting yourself in small honest moments, when you say "I don't know," and feel no shame. When you admit "I'm tired," and rest without guilt. When you speak truth even if your voice shakes. These are acts of quiet revolution. You're dismantling years of conditioning not with violence, but with tenderness. Jung taught that the journey of individuation is the meeting of opposites, persona and shadow, light and dark, ego and soul. Integration doesn't mean perfection. It means wholeness. It means you can look at your flaws without flinching. You can hold your pain without drowning. You can love yourself without needing to perform worthiness. In time, you'll see that every crack was sacred. Each one a doorway through which consciousness entered. The places you tried to hide became the places you healed. The moments you felt lost were the map leading home. And the face you were afraid to show was always the most beautiful thing about you. If you look closely, you'll notice the mask never truly breaks. It softens. It becomes translucent. It lets light pass through. That's what maturity is. Not the destruction of the persona, but the harmony between appearance and truth. When you live this way, people feel it. They sense your calm. They feel safe around you because you no longer hide or demand that they do. Authenticity is contagious. It invites others to remove their own masks too. That's how the world changes, one honest soul at a time. And maybe one day, someone will sit across from you and say, "You look different." You'll smile, the kind of smile that doesn't hide anything, and whisper, "I finally met myself." Before we close, if this reflection has touched you, remember to like and subscribe. It helps this message reach those still hiding behind their own masks. The cracks were never flaws, they were instructions. Each one whispered, "Open here." The more you open, the more light you hold. And the more light you hold, the more freely you love. This is what the soul wanted all along, not perfection, but presence. So tonight, when the world grows quiet, and you feel that familiar mask trying to rise again, pause. Take a breath. Place a hand over your heart. And remember, you don't need to perform here. You are already enough. Even unpolished. Even uncertain. Even still becoming. The soul smiles through the cracks. The light finds its way in. And slowly, you begin to live not as an image, but as truth. Thank you for being here with me. Take care of your heart. And may love always guide your path.